Hey guys, what's going on? It's Savage here, and today we're going to be talking about Gotham Knights and is it too similar to the Avengers? Now, before we get into this video, drop a like. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video. I've been trying to upload as much as possible, and today I've been kind of planning out the next path that I'm going to be taking on YouTube. Of course, December in 2021 is coming up, so I'm going to be trying to post as much as possible. So just all the support helps. Of course, thank you. Now let's get into this. Now, many people have been basically comparing the gameplay and a lot of different elements of the combat and whatnot from Gotham Knights into the Avengers, and basically saying that the Avengers and Gotham Knights are very similar based on combat and whatnot, and based on the fact that they're both co-op. I don't really believe that. I think, in my opinion, Gotham Knights has a lot more going for it than the Avengers, and the Avengers, if you've been keeping up with that game, has been it's been a shit show. It's been really bad. The game itself is basically a bomb. 96 or 98% of players have dropped off. Like, at this point, anything above like a 20% gain for them is going to be a success, and they will brag about it. But the fact that they're already releasing a new character, of course they're going to get new people back. But my point here is that Gotham Knights doesn't seem to be a games as a service game. That's not what they're really going for. They're not going to be doing monthly updates that bring in new Gotham or new Bat Family characters or whatever. They might bring in new Bat Family characters, but we don't know. We know that it's not going to be a games as a service, though. I'm pretty sure they've already confirmed that. So that in itself it's basically just confirming that it's not going to be very similar in terms of how they implement the multiplayer and the co-op and how they implement the gear and whatnot. They're not going to be basically doing what the Avengers is doing, because they have to thrive off of that microtransaction system. Of course, I'm not saying that this game might not have microtransactions. It might, but the way the games as a service is already set up for the Avengers, it's already completely different. Now, the gameplay itself, I do see similarities, right? The fact that the enemies have health bars and whatnot, I'm pretty sure you could turn off. I think numbers pop up on screen for damage that you can see when you saw the Batgirl and Robin gameplay. But overall, I think that, again, Gotham Knights looks a lot more fun than the Avengers. Holy crap, it looks so much better. The fact that you can grapple and whatnot, the fact that you can do stealth is a very big difference. That's a huge difference. I think the fact that in Batman games we've been always fighting regular thugs. I can't think of a moment besides like Arkham Asylum and like maybe Arkham Origins where we fight other enemies besides regular thugs. So honestly, that repetitive nature in a Batman game makes complete sense. For the Avengers, though, fighting robots on oh my god, that is the most I can't get into how terrible that is. Fighting robots constantly is something that is just a chore. It's so bombastic and in your face, it makes you want to die. And it seems like, at least from the gameplay that we've seen, compared to the first gameplay that we've seen from A-Day, it seems a lot more balanced. It seems like they actually have something going for them, at least in terms of how they're going to structure their game, because it goes from traversal to a side mission, then it goes from a little bit of backstory to the side mission into stealth, and then it goes into gameplay where it goes into combat. And that's really, in my opinion, a lot more interesting than anything that the Avengers has done. The fact that stealth is a very big implementation into this game is actually good, because they're taking that Arkham formula in a different way, and they're also using what, of course, Patrick Redding has used probably in Splinter Cell, and is taking that from that game and using that for this. I do think that the bosses look a little bit similar. Mr. Freeze didn't really have the best moves or whatever, but that was like 30 seconds. Oh, not even 30 seconds. That was probably like 20 seconds of a boss. So we didn't get to see much of him. It could turn out to be a lot more fun than what we're shown. And again, I think the gameplay is a lot different than what we actually see in trailers and what we see from the developers playing themselves. It's not the same. Even with A-Day, I thought A-Day was a lot more fun because I had control of it. And I think that it's going to be the same thing with like this Mr. Freeze boss battle. But at the same time, even compared to the Avengers, which we are comparing to, which is the title, I think that the fucking Mr. Freeze boss is already better. I can't even think of a villain in the Avengers besides MODOK that we fight. I'm genuinely being honest. I can't remember another villain besides the main villain of that game that we fight. And the Court of Owls are still out there while we fight Mr. Freeze. And there's going to be other villains in here too that we do side missions with. That's interesting. That's good. That's actually good. That's basically taking the Arkham formula in a different direction, which is what a lot of people wanted. And personally, I think that Gotham Knights is going to balance all that a lot better. If we're going to compare anything, right, any game, I think Suicide Squad might be a little bit similar to the Avengers, since it is, of course, a games as a service 4-player co-op game that's going to have continuous content we don't even know. Rocksteady hasn't really confirmed how long they're going to be supporting this game. Hopefully it is a long time, and hopefully their content is good. But, compared to the Avengers, when you say 4-player co-op, games as a service superhero game, well, what am I talking about? I'm talking about, Avengers. I'm talking about the Avengers. And I'm also talking about Suicide Squad. So, there are similarities between that. The gameplay is probably going to be a lot different. The gameplay is probably going to be very, very fun. But at the same time, are we going to get tired of fighting Brainiac robots and stuff like that while we fight? I mean, again, the big advantage that Suicide Squad has is that you're going to be fighting the Justice League too while they're off doing other stuff and while they're being brain controlled or whatever. So, again, Avengers is a flop. It's a failure. And I hate to say that to anybody who loves this game. You could love this. You could love the Avengers. Go ahead. Let's just call it what it is, though. It lost a ton of money for Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, I'm pretty sure. They lost a shit ton of money for all the money that they put into this game, which is shocking considering it's the Avengers. Like, how do you fail that hard? And again, this is a good example because I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, 100% sure, that WB and DC and Rocksteady and WB Montreal are all looking at the Avengers in that game and how it tumbled and fell, and they're going to be like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I'm 100% sure that they're smart enough to realize that if they make anything similar to the Avengers, that it's going to be a flop. They have to really take their time and go for it. But again, nobody's really, and here's the thing, is that nobody's copying anything. It's that, when you look at, DC, they're always going to at least try to be smart here. They're not going to do as scummy as shit as the Avengers did, which was the whole microtransaction. Dude, it's like $20 to buy a skin in the Avengers. I'm not joking. It's like 1,400 crystal things or whatever, little point things. That's like $20. You have to buy a $20 pack to actually get that $14 skin. So it's embarrassing. It's really bad. I think that they cut that in half, maybe. I don't know. I haven't touched the game in a while. But either way, as long as the Suicide Squad and the Gotham Knights avoid as much as possible anything that the Avengers did, I'm 100% sure that they'll be okay. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think that the gameplay that we've seen from Gotham Knights looks similar? Do you think that it will be anywhere near the level of a disaster as the Avengers? Or do you think that what we've seen is already better? I mean, in my opinion, I think it looks amazing. Like, I think that they're going in the right direction with the art style and the gameplay, and the fact that stealth is also a thing that we've barely even seen. I mean, we've seen 7 minutes, and they showed a lot, and compared to the Avengers, it looks a lot more dynamic and a lot more fun, and I really can't wait to get my hands on that game. And do you think that the Suicide Squad game is anywhere near as similar to the Avengers game in terms of, the games as a service and the co-op? What do you wish that Rocksteady does differently from the Avengers? So, just tell me all that in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.